Hello everyone, a very good morning to all. So this is our fifth video on the chemistry of elements of first transition series of your inorganic chemistry part. This is unit 1 of semester 3rd syllabus of your BSc second year. So we have already done for the characteristic properties of D block elements and also the properties of elements of first transition series, their periodic variation along the series, and the factors depending of factors which rule govern the various properties of first transition series of the D block. This part we have already done. In this video, we'll be starting with the simple compounds, that is the binary compounds and coordination complexes of the 3D series of D block. What about of the coordination complexes? About the coordination complexes, I have already given you a brief idea. Now, I would like to discuss with you very briefly what binary compounds are. Binary compounds are the simplest compounds of an element. Of an element. So these compounds are those wherein just two types of elements are there, but they can be in any stoichiometry. So stoichiometry can be any, but elements, the type of elements is limited to two in case of binary compounds, and the stoichiometry depends upon the atomic and ionic properties of the elements which form the compound. So further, I would like to add on this that the transition elements form number of binary compounds, and the transition elements form number of binary compounds with non-metallic elements of the periodic table. The stability of these binary compounds depends upon the stability of various oxidation states of the D block elements. So we'll be discussing these binary compounds and coordination complexes of the 3D series elements one by one. First of all, we're taking up the scandium, which is the very first element of 3D series, and its electronic configuration is 3D14S2. This is the outermost shell. This is the 3D is the penultimate shell, and 4S is the last shell or the valence shell. Here it is having atomic number of 21. So the electronic configuration is 3D14S2. And the most common oxidation state of scandium, as we have already discussed, is +3. So +3 is generated after it loses all the three electrons present in S plus 4S subshell plus 3D subshell. So it acquires the electronic configuration similar to argon, which is a noble gas. So scandium 3 positive is diamagnetic in nature, and all the electrons are paired, and also there are no electrons left in the D subshell, 3D subshell. So the scandium compounds in +3 oxidation states are generally colorless, or we can say these are white, because there are no DD transitions possible for the case of scandium 3 positive, as the condition for any compound to be colored for the which belongs to the D block is that there must be some unpaired electrons present in D subshell so that DD transitions are possible. So for the binary compounds, different oxides and halides are possible for the scandium in 3+ oxidation state. So oxides are having general formula of Sc2O3, where scandium is in +3 oxidation state, and halides are having general formula of ScX3, where X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine. This can be any of the halogen. So firstly, we'll be discussing about the preparation of scandium oxide, that is ScO3. So it can be synthesized by heating carbonates or nitrates of scandium, or by direct reaction of scandium with oxygen. When we heat carbonates and nitrates, along with the formation of the oxides of scandium, there also form, the reaction also generates the two gases, that is NO2 when we use nitrates and CO2 when we use carbonates. And when we directly react scandium with oxygen, we get the formation of Sc2O3, which is scandium oxide. Now the synthesis of scandium halides. So scandium halides are generally prepared via the direct reaction of scandium with the halogens. So when these are reacted directly, we get the formation of scandium halides, that is SCX3. Out of these halides, or we can say trihalides of scandium, out of these, scandium fluoride or scandium trifluoride is insoluble in water or alcohol, but the higher halides, that is chloride, bromide and iodide, are readily soluble in water. So scandium 3 positive being the smallest ion in its group, therefore it has strong tendency to form complexes, as we have already discussed when we discussed about the coordination complexes, that stability is governed by the size of the central cation, and smaller the size, more stable is the complex, and more is the tendency to form complexes when the size is smaller and charge is higher. So that is the case for scandium. That is why scandium 3 positive has strong tendency to form complexes. So further, when the scandium 3 to the aqueous solution of scandium 3 compounds, when fluoride ions are added, it readily gives us the formation of scandium trifluoride, which is insoluble in water, so it gets precipitated out very easily. But further, when scandium trifluoride is further treated with fluoride solution, then it gives the generation of hexa complex of scandium fluoride, which is an octahedral complex with 6 fluoride, which is surrounded, where scandium 3 positive is surrounded by 6 fluoride ions, and this is an octahedral complex because the coordination number of scandium 3 positive there is 6. So the second complex which we are going to discuss is the when elemental scandium dissolves in NaOH, it liberates hydrogen. And the reaction is given as follows, that when scandium is reacted with sodium hydroxide in the presence in aqueous medium, what happens is there is a generation of this sodium complex of scandium hydroxide along with the formation of hydrogen. So this is the second complex of scandium in the plus reoxidation state, which is known for scandium. Uh, next we'll be discussing the next element, that is titanium. So titanium occurs in the most important ores of titanium, which occurs naturally are rutile and ilmenite. Rutile is having general formula of TiO2 and ilmenite is having general formula of FeTiO3. In general, titanium is hard and silvery white metal. It is having high strength and low density. Due to this property, that is high strength and low density, it is useful for military aircraft and nuclear submarines. Although it is difficult to extract pure titanium, because when we treat TiO2, when we try to reduce this TiO2 and get it converted to pure titanium, what happens is when reduction is done with the help of carbon, there occurs the formation of titanium carbide in place of titanium. So a specialized process is there for the extraction of titanium out of this rutile ore, that is TiO2. That process is called as Kroll process. So in the Kroll process, what is done is, in the first step, TiO2 is first treated with carbon and in the presence of chlorine, and both all these things are heated, and we get the generation of, there occurs the formation of TiCl4 along with carbon monoxide. TiCl4 is further heated and the vapors of TiCl4 are further condensed to form fuming liquid, which is further distilled at 136 degrees Celsius, and the pure vapors of TiCl4 are further passed over magnesium. They are made to react with magnesium by passing over magnesium at 800 degrees Celsius, and this is the reaction which takes place when TiCl4 is treated with magnesium at 800 degrees Celsius, that we get the formation of magnesium chloride and titanium is obtained in solid form. The obtained magnesium chloride, the magnesium chloride which is obtained here is leached out with the help of water HCl solution, and also the dissolved magnesium can be obtained from there. So titanium remains in the pure form there. So from there we obtain pure spongy mass porous titanium, which is further converted to massive form by melting in electric furnace under argon atmosphere. Argon provides an inert atmosphere so to avoid the conversion of titanium obtained into oxide. So further, these are the most common oxidation state of titanium which exists for titanium. This is the electronic configuration of titanium. So binary compounds of titanium occurs in these three oxidation states. We'll take up the different oxidation states one by one. Firstly, we'll taking up the +2 oxidation state. +2 oxidation state of titanium is not very stable. In case of +2 oxidation state, what happens is both the 4s electrons are lost and we get the electronic configuration as the same as argon plus 3d2. So the common binary compounds existing in +2 oxidation state of titanium are titanium oxide, TiCl2, TiBr2, TiI2. The halides of titanium are blackish brown solids. We're taking up the synthesis of titanium dichloride. So titanium dichloride is obtained from the titanium chloride in higher oxidation state, that is from titanium tetrachloride. It is treated with titanium and heated, then we get the formation of titanium dichloride. Also, it can be obtained from the disproportionation reaction of titanium trichloride, wherein we get the generation of titanium tetrachloride and titanium dichloride. Further, if we want to discuss about the reactivity of titanium dichloride, then it reacts with water to give titanium dioxide, which is the most common oxide of titanium, or also the titanium exists in the form of this oxide, and there occurs the liberation of H2 along with the formation of TiO2. Next, we have titanium in its +3 oxidation state. The electronic configuration is 3d1. So here titanium is also paramagnetic and it is colored because unpaired electrons are present, and there is one electron present in 3d subshell. Titanium trichloride is an important compound for +3 oxidation state of titanium. It is obtained via the controlled reduction of titanium tetrachloride, that we can get the formation of titanium trichloride in the form of a violet powder. The solution of titanium 3 positive are strongly reducing in nature because titanium 3 positive tends to get oxidized to titanium 4, as titanium 4 is the most stable oxidation state. So the solution of titanium 3 positive are strongly reducing, that these can reduce very strong oxidizing agents like KMnO4. This is a general reaction where titanium trichloride is reacted with KMnO4 in the presence of water. What is happening is we get the formation of titanium oxychloride, which is where in titanium is in +4 oxidation state. Also, titanium 3 easily undergoes disproportionation and at 700 degrees Celsius to give titanium 2 and titanium 4 oxidation state. Further, we have titanium compounds in its +4 oxidation state. So this is the most stable and most common oxidation state for titanium. Both the halides and oxides exist for titanium 4. TiO2 is a most commonly used, most useful compound of titanium, which is used as white pigment in paints. These are the 3 crystalline forms of TiO2. These all occur naturally. These 3 crystalline forms are rutile, anatase, and bruchite. But here titanium dioxide present in these naturally occurring crystalline forms, this is not pure. It is required to be purified first. So the purification process of TiO2 involves, the first step is same as the generation of titanium, as the extraction of titanium. So we take impure TiO2 and we treat it with carbon and chlorine. We get the formation of TiCl4 as the first step for the extraction of titanium. Titanium tetrachloride is further oxidized with oxygen at high temperature of 1200 degrees Celsius that we get TiO2 in pure form, which is high melting solid and turns yellow on heating. Here also, along with TiO2, what happens is chlorine is released, which can be reused. The chlorine is released in the second step. This chlorine obtained here can be reused in the first step here. So this is how the process is made cyclic, that chlorine is being reused. Here the rutile structure of titanium, that TiO2. In this structure, coordination ratio of Ti to oxygen is 6:3. There are 3 titaniums present for every 6 oxide ions. That means uh, 6 oxide ions in a unit cell, 6 oxide ions are present, and 3 titanium ions are present in +4 oxidation state, and each titanium is present as at the corner of equilateral triangle. Further, TiCl4 is in general, now we have, after the discussion of TiO2, we have the discussion of halides of titanium in +4 oxidation state. All the halides are prepared in via the direct reaction of halides with titanium, but for obtaining titanium tetrafluoride, we want to avoid the usage of fluorine, because that is very risky to handle as due to its toxic nature. So for obtaining titanium tetrafluoride, what we use is, we use the reaction of titanium tetrachloride and we react it with HF, and that in that step it gets converted to titanium tetrafluoride along with the formation of HCl. Next we have the complexes of titanium. So these are the foremost complex of titanium, which is stable, is the aqua complex of titanium in its +3 oxidation state. So it is obtained from the reduction of titanium 4 compounds, and the reduction is electrolytic in nature, or it can be zinc can be used for the reduction of titanium 4 to obtain this titanium 3 complex. This is highly prone to aerial oxidation, so this complex is generally stored in nitrogen atmosphere, as +4 oxidation state is most stable, and titanium 3 compounds tend to oxidize to titanium 4 compounds. So titanium trichloride exists in 2 different hydrated forms in the form of complex, that is, these are the 2 hydrated complexes of titanium 3, where here are 3 ionizable chlorines, and this is an octahedral complex. This is an trigonal bipyramidal complex, pentagonal bipyramidal complex, which is having the coordination number of 7 for titanium, and here are 2 ionizable chlorines, and this is violet in color and this is green in color. Next we have just one complex wherein titanium is in +4 oxidation state. This is the complex of halides of titanium, that is, when halides of titanium in +4 oxidation state are further treated with their solution of the anions, that is, when titanium tetrachloride is treated with the solution of chloride, we get the formation of titanium hexachloride, that is a complex wherein titanium is in +4 oxidation state, and this is very well known complex, ammonium complex of titanium hexachloride, and this is obtained in the form of yellow crystalline solid. Similarly, titanium tetrafluoride can also form complex. It has more tendency to form complex with alkali metals in place of ammonium. Next is the third element of the 3D series, that is vanadium. Third element of the series is vanadium with atomic number of 23. Important ores of vanadium are petronite, which is a sulfide complex, and the second ore is vanadinate, which is a mixture of oxide and halides. So the common oxidation states of vanadium are +2, +3, +4, and +5. +5 is the maximum oxidation state, which is obtained after the loss of all the 5 electrons present in 3D plus 4s subshell. In case of vanadium, in 3D there are 3 electrons, and in case of 4s subshell there are 2 electrons. So when all the 5 electrons are lost, we get the vanadium in +5 oxidation state, and if only 2 electrons belonging to 4s subshell are lost, we get the +2 oxidation state, which is the lowest oxidation state of vanadium, and in between there are +3 and +4 oxidation state. So all the compounds of, in general, the compound, both the halides and oxides exist in all the oxidation state. First we'll be discussing the binary compounds of vanadium in +2 oxidation state. So these compounds are obtained when vanadium is heated with halogens. Halides with different oxidation states are obtained. Generally higher oxidation state halides are obtained via heating, direct heating with halides, and for the generation of vanadium halides in lower oxidation state, that is +2, we need to reduce the higher oxidation state halides in controlled conditions in the using the appropriate reducing agent. So this is how it is done, that vanadium tetrachloride is treated with hydrogen in red hot tube, that we get the formation of VCl2, which is pale green crystalline solid and hygroscopic in nature. Further, VCl2, when it is treated with water, it is very much prone to oxidation, that it can also reduce water, reduction of water take place, and here vanadium in from its +2 oxidation state goes to vanadium in its +3 oxidation state, that is VOCl is formed and water is reduced to H2. Second compound is vanadium oxide in its +2 oxidation state, which is also obtained from the higher oxidation state of vanadium, that is V2O5. V2O5, here in V2O5, vanadium is in +5 oxidation state, which is the most stable oxidation state of vanadium, because all the 5 electrons has been lost and it has the electronic configuration similar to that of argon, which is a noble gas. So when V2O5 is treated with hydrogen at very high temperature of 2000 degrees Celsius, we get the formation of vanadium oxide in its +2 oxidation state, which is a black solid with metallic luster, and this is soluble in water. Further, when vanadium oxide it reacts with both the bases and acids. Vanadium oxide in its +2 oxidation state, when it is treated with alkalis, we get the formation of vanadium dihydroxide, and with acids it forms an octahedral complex, that is hexa-aqua complex, in its +2 oxidation state. This complex is strongly reducing in nature, as here vanadium is in +2 oxidation state and it tend to acquire the higher oxidation state, that is +3. So when it is treated with, it is strongly reducing in nature, and in its +2 oxidation state, this hexa-aqua complex is violet in color, and in its +3 oxidation state, vanadium hexa-aqua complex of vanadium is green in color. This is how the oxidation of this complex is indicated, that there is a change in color from violet to green. Next, we have compounds of vanadium in +3 oxidation state. So vanadium is for obtaining the vanadium halides in +3 oxidation state, we do the direct reaction of different halides with vanadium, that we get the compounds having general formula of VX3. In a similar way as we obtained the fluoride of titanium, in a similar way we obtain the fluorides of vanadium, that we treat VCl3 with HF. We need to avoid working with fluorine, which is highly toxic. So here, when VCl3 is treated with HF, we get the formation of VF3. Also, next is the compounds of vanadium in +4 oxidation state. These are also obtained directly by the reaction of vanadium plus fluorine. And for the case of fluorides, what we do is Again, we react vanadium with HF here. For obtaining VF4 in +4 oxidation state, we do the direct reaction of vanadium. We need not react here with react HF with VCl chloride of vanadium, but we are treating directly vanadium metal with HF, and then we get the formation of VF4. Here VCl4 is a reddish brown unstable liquid which decomposes to VCl3 and Cl2. That is why we do not use VCl4 as a starting material here. We use directly the vanadium metal itself. Also, VF4 undergoes disproportionation, that vanadium in its +4 oxidation state is not that stable, uh, because this compound is also unstable, and VF4 also undergoes disproportionation to vanadium fluoride in +3 and +5 oxidation state. VF5 is not, the VCl5 does not exist, but VF5 exists. Next is BCl4 also fumes in moist air to give vanadium chloride. This is highly reactive as it is unstable. So it reacts with water, it reacts in the presence of moisture to give vanadium chloride, that is VOCl2, along with the formation of HCl. Next we have vanadium in +5 oxidation state. The most common compound of vanadium in +5 oxidation state is V2O5. It is a very important compound. Uh, this is obtained, V2O5 is obtained from the reaction of ammonium vanadate, that is NH4VO3, via the direct decomposition of ammonium vanadate or the reaction of ammonium vanadate with H2SO4. By both ways we can obtain V2O5. Here the reactions have been written. So V2O5 is having vanadium in +5 oxidation state. It is having 0 number of electrons in 3D subshells, so no DD transition, so it should be colorless. But V2O5 is an exception that it is colored. This is colored due to the formation of charge transfer complex is formed in case of V2O5. So this is to be memorized, that V2O5 is not having any D electron in because it has lost all the 5 electrons from the 3D plus 4s subshell. Still it is colored. This is colored due to the presence of charge transfer phenomenon. This V2O5 is amphoteric in nature, that is, it reacts with both acids and bases. With NaOH, it gives us the formation of alkali vanadate, that is sodium vanadate, and with HCl, it leads to the formation of VOCl2, that is vanadium chloride. Here, the important reactions of V2O5 have been summarized, that here we have shown the synthesis of V2O5 from ammonium vanadate via the decomposition of ammonium vanadate and by treating it with H2SO4. With alkali, it gives us this compound. With HCl, we get VOCl2. When it is treated with H2SO4, we get the formation of pervanadiol sulfate. All these reactions are important from the point of view of the exams, that you can be directly given these reactions and can be asked to complete the reaction, and you will be asked about the product which is to be formed. V2O5 when reacted with Cl2 is reacted with chlorine, we get the formation of vanadium oxytrichloride. And V2O5 is a very important catalyst which is used in the contact process for a very important step, that is the conversion of SO2 to SO3. So when it is treated with SO2, we get the formation of SO3, and V2O5 itself get converted to VO2, wherein vanadium is in +4 oxidation state. And when we try to reduce V2O5 with hydrogen, we get a mixture of oxides, that is VO2, wherein vanadium is in +4 oxidation state, and V2O3 with vanadium in +3 oxidation state. So next we have chromium. This will be discussing in the next video. So that is it for today. I hope you have understood. This whole part is bit kind of cramming part, so you need to read it again and again so that it fits into your mind. Mostly you can be asked about the complexes and the simple reactions out of this part. The important part out of this chapter is the properties, their variations, which we have already covered. So that is it for today. Thank you so much. Have a good day.